Shane Beamer made some noise yesterday in the Twitter sphere about breaking his foot after the Florida game. And to be clear, to provide the context, this is a weekly press conference, and we had someone within the media ask him, hey, coach, saw you kind of limping in here. And it was kind of a lighthearted conversation. It wasn't anything that was like, hey, coach, what's wrong with you? Saw you limping in here. You okay? He goes, yeah, and Coach Beamer kind of sheepishly goes, yeah, after the Florida game, got mad, kicked something, and I have a broken bone in my foot. And I watched it, and I didn't think twice about it. I was like, that's one, kind of funny. Two, that sounds painful, so that sucks for Coach Beamer. But there was so much made about this, and I was so shocked as to why. Like, I think a lot of people that never played competitive sports got the Twitter's fingers out and had a lot to say about Coach Beamer breaking his foot, saying, oh, he's overly emotional, he's a crybaby, this is your head coach, this is your leader, he's kicking stuff after he loses, what is going on? What are we doing here? My question to everybody in the Twitter sphere that's saying stuff like that, what are we doing here? Are we serious? This is seriously something that we're going to stand on a podium and say this is a definitive statement about a coach's character and the way that he does things because he kicked something after his team blew a 10-point lead? Where I'm sitting from, this is a non-issue in every single sense of the word. Every single sense of the word, this is a non-issue. And what I said at the top of this, I'm going to go back to. If you haven't played competitive sports, it's not a knock, but I would say let's kind of hold our opinions a little bit more loosely. Coach Beamer, there is nothing more important in his life, I promise you. I don't know him personally, but this is my estimation, outside of his family and potentially his faith, than how his football team plays on Saturday. And his football team blew a 10-point lead at home to a team that they had on the ropes and they thought they should have beaten. And so one of the top three things most important in his life goes south in that situation. He shows emotion, cares about his football team, kicks something, breaks his foot. Simple as that. People do things all the time in the heat of competitive moments that they maybe wouldn't do if they were a little bit more level, but like, it is what it is. Are we really going to say Shane Beamer is overly emotional and he's a crybaby, he's this, he's that, because he kicked something after his team blew a 10-point lead? The issue isn't that he kicked something. All right, the issue isn't that he broke his foot. That's a byproduct of this situation. The issue is that he blew a 10-point lead. The issue is that South Carolina is not playing their best football right now. And that, I think, also plays into the whole lens that we view the situation through. It is so fascinating to me the way that we view coaches and the lenses, or the goggles rather, that comes with winning and losing. Like Dabo Swinney is a great example. If Clemson is winning, Dabo is charismatic. Dabo beats to his own drum. Dabo is genuine. He zigs when other people zags. He does things his own way. Now, when they're losing, Dabo is corny. Dabo is outdated. Dabo's not with the times. Dabo's cringy. See how that works? Same thing with Dave Aranda at Baylor. When Baylor's winning, he's stoic, unflappable. Man, nothing bothers this guy. You can't get to Dave Aranda, man. He's just so cool, calm, and collected. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. He just stays the same. If they're losing, people say, well, he's just not a leader, man. You can see he needs to get after those guys. He needs to be fiery. Show some emotion. What's wrong with him? Is he soft? Is Dave Aranda soft? What's going on? They're losing football games. Same thing with Shane Beamer. When they're winning, he's authentic. He's genuine. He's a player's coach, someone you want to play for, wears his heart on his sleeve. And then when they lose, he's a crybaby. He's overly emotional. What's he doing kicking things after they lose? What's his problem? Like, you can't have it both ways here. We can't be extreme one way or the other. Like, the answer is probably somewhere in the middle. Does Shane Beamer wish he hadn't kicked something and broke his foot? Yeah, I promise you he probably does. The reality is, though, I bet he wishes much more that his team was playing better football and that they hadn't blown a 10-point lead. So let's all kind of dial it back a little bit. A lot of people were buying stock in Shane Beamer this offseason and now are trying to sell that same stock right now because of how they're playing. Let's just relax a little bit. At a place like South Carolina, they have a lot of resources. They're starting to recruit well. And I think it's just a thing where you see Georgia being successful. You see Alabama being successful. They've stacked recruiting classes. Give South Carolina a little bit more time because I think you got the right guy. I don't think there's a better coach for South Carolina right now than Shane Beamer, based on what we know. So with that being said, let's understand competitive context is the case here. Nobody should say anything definitive about Shane Beamer being this or being that. Like, dude's a football coach. Team lost a football game. Made an emotional move. It is what it is. All right, let's not overblow that one out of proportion. But that was something that I thought we had to say our piece about, based on what had been said about Shane Beamer and based on just how people view coaches in general. I think it needed to be said. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.